So I recently went to a Nike outlet in Oregon and they had refurbished sneakers there. So it's something that they talked about a couple months ago. We saw it made like news all over blog sites and everything. But I was curious to see how it was going to roll out. So I went to this specific store in Lincoln City, Oregon, and they had the refurbished sneakers on the back wall. Really cool concept to be able to actually bring some of the used, quote unquote, used sneakers to be able to have those available to people to buy. But it was kind of interesting to see what actually was used versus like new and so on. So I figured I'd go ahead and discuss that in this video and show you guys some of the shopping that happened in the video. What is going on, guys? Hess here. Hopefully you guys are having a good day out there. If you guys are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. If you guys haven't used my website, Collective Kicks, I just basically post a bunch of sneaker deals that I find on Nike and Adidas and sites like those. Feel free to always check that out in the descriptions of the videos. But in this video, again, Nike refurbished sneakers. Like, I was really intrigued by what I would be able to find there, and then also how the pricing was going to be, because since the sneakers were going to be used, I assumed the prices were going to be slashed lower than what they'd be on the hash wall. The hash wall, for those that don't know, is just the back wall. Usually at Nike outlets is where they have some of the shoes that are in a deeper discount. Sometimes you'll see Nike clearances have the hash wall be an extra 20 or 30% off. And in this case, they actually had the refurbished sneakers on the back wall. So as I was walking back, I did see that they had some Air Jordan 6s. They actually had the Carmines in stock there. They did have the B stamp on them, meaning they were B grades, but still cool that they actually had them in store, because honestly, it's just one of those OG shoes that was fun to be able to see. I didn't end up buying them because I already have a pair. I think I actually have multiple pairs of the last retro. But anyway, refurbished. It says Nike refurbished is like new, gently worn, and cosmetically flawed. And then this is part of the Move to Zero movement, and you could see it has the pinwheel of Nike swooshes on it. I'm assuming the refurbished ones just come in the refurbished boxes, and they actually have specialized boxes for the Nike refurbished stuff, which to me seems counterproductive. If you're gonna have like a Move to Zero thing, now you're creating a new box for this refurbished shoe. But maybe it's because it didn't have the original box and they don't want to just put it out there on the shelf. So I guess it makes sense, but obviously in any case, having the original shoes out there would be a better way to go. But the thing that was tough for me to determine then is what's the difference between the Move to Zero, like lightly used ones, versus the regular ones that are in the store. And it's a blurry line, because if you think about it, when you're going to the Nike outlets, people are picking up the shoes, trying them on in store. If they don't want them, they put them back in the box, usually in a disheveled mess, and then they go back in the box and then go back on the shelf. But if you have these refurbished shoes that are in the back wall, it's pretty much the same thing. People can take them out of the box, try them on, put them back in the refurbished box. So I get what they're doing, but it's kind of confusing with the prices, because what it comes down to is the ones that were refurbished, they look pretty much brand new. Some of them haven't even been tried on before. They were like legit brand new pairs of sneakers in boxes. And the only determining factor that I could tell was that it had a completely different label system. So it said Nike refurbished, and then it says gently worn. Like in this one, as an example, it's the Nike Vaporfly 4%, and it was $100. Retail is $250. That's $150 off retail. That is an extremely good price for that shoe, but it didn't look worn at all. I took it out of the box and I was like, this literally looks like somebody tried it on in the store, and that was it. So on the positive side, if they lose the boxes, then you get something that's even better priced. But it makes me wonder, like, why they don't just take the hash wall stuff and knock them down in price low as well. And as a quick sidebar, I did find these on the hash wall as well, which was insanely crazy to see. Even one pair of these, they're $500 at retail. On the hash wall, they were still $500. But they came with the original box and no lid, so it wasn't a quote-unquote refurb. But the shoe was super crazy in person. This is the one that Kanye tweeted, basically giving kudos to Nike for having like such a crazy design for a pair of sneakers. But they were really rad to see in hand. And one of the craziest Nike sneakers that we've seen. Very, very similar to the MMWs or whatever, the ones that I just reviewed recently. But those ones are wild. Again, it looked like it was just tried on in the store and no different than the rest. So I'm like, man, I wonder if you could plead the case of like, well, this one was tried on. Can I get it for that refurbished price? I doubt they'll do it. But another one that I found that was super crazy was the ACG Air Terra Antarctic. And this one was retailed at, I think, $220 or $250. and they had it for $80 on the back wall, but unfortunately it was like super itty bitty small sizes. I should have gotten them for my kid, honestly. He's getting closer in the age where he'd be able to wear them. But for $80, that one was a no-brainer. Gore-Tex and everything. Really, really beautiful shoe. But again, it didn't have the refurbished box, but it had that refurbished price. So I don't know, maybe it's just there a long time and it was like the last one available. They also did have the Air Zoom Pulses. This one did come in the refurbished box. It says gently worn on it. And it did have the pinwheels in the box. It also said the price was $48 instead of that $120. But pretty cool to see the Zoom Pulses. Of course, you wouldn't want to wear used nurse shoes, like, so if they were worn and then sent back, like those are the ones, especially if they were being used for nursing, it's not probably one that you want to pick up. But yeah, anyway, those ones were there. They had some KDs that I saw there. And then they had some gently worn ISPA Reacts for $64. That's a pretty good price for those. I mean, I think those ones were retail at $160, it said, but not a bad pair of sneakers. And they only had them again in small sizes, and it said gently worn again. Another Nike refurb was that Zoom Freak 1. It was $48 again instead of $120. Super great price. And it says gently worn on the tag as well. And you could see again, it looked like it was just tried on in the store, not even worn that much. I did find a hoodie there that I liked as well. This windbreaker was pretty sick. $130 though. I don't think it was on sale, so I was like, nah, pass on it. But if I got that one for like $25, it would have been like the steal of the day. The green color was actually pretty nice as well. And then they had some Oregon apparel as well, with some blazer stuff here with the Lillard jersey. Kind of cool, brown color, interesting. Definitely would be fun to see a pair of sneakers in that. But we saw a bunch of other random models through the years, some older ones, some newer ones that were on the refurb wall. And it was pretty cool to be able to see, but again, kind of interesting. Some of them said like new, some of them said gently used, but all in all, they looked exactly the same in my eyes. Like, I picked them up, looked on the inside, looked on the outside, and they all look pretty much brand new. But ultimately, I think it's a big, huge win for the consumers out there like us. If you're wanting a pair of these sneakers that say they're gently worn or lightly used or whatever they say, at the end of the day, they're really very, very gently touched. So ultimately, it's no different than just going into the outlet and buying a pair of the sneakers. You have to be on the lookout when you're going to the outlet anyway, because sometimes, you know, if they have multiple of the same exact size, sometimes those ones are tried on. So I always like to dig through the boxes and find the ones that were not tried on. But pretty cool to be able to see these in person. They had some pretty good prices. Some Air Max 270s in my size were only $75. And again, brand new, man, like not even a touch on them. And tempting colorway. It looked like a Skeletor colorway, but I ended up passing on it. And then they had some just other old gems that I remember from a handful of years ago that I really liked, that they just had randomly sitting at this outlet in very select sizes. But what do you think about this refurbed, like, used sneakers being sold at the Nike outlets? Again, to me, it's a pretty awesome thing. It's a way that they can sell more products. And I'm wondering if when they have that extra 20% off on the hash wall, if it's included with these gently used things. I imagine they would be, but if you guys know, leave a comment in the comment section. Have you guys found any gems from the used section in the Nike stores? Drop a comment and let other people know what you found. But I thought it was a lot of fun. It's definitely something I want to go back and check out more of these sneakers. They did originally have a list of all the stores that featured like the refurbished sneakers. Not every one of the Nike outlets has it, so select ones do have it. And in my opinion, it's definitely worth checking out. You can find some super gems for a really good price. And you just don't have the original box. And if it's pairs of shoes that you're just going to wear anyway, who cares? You don't really need the box. And for that statement alone, for those people wondering where all my boxes are for the shoes in the backdrop, I actually have a little attic space right over here, just like a second level attic, not above the house, but it's a attic space that I built out that I have the boxes stored in there. So for those wondering, that's why I have no boxes on the display wall. But plus, I like the display. It's fun to be able to just see them and grab them and throw them on if I need. Anyway, lots of fun stuff at the Nike outlets. Leave some comments on the things that you've seen in recent times. But thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Much appreciated, and have a good rest of the day. Hopefully we'll see you back for some more videos. All right, peace, guys.